You are listening to Radio Maria Canada. We now present the Health Hub, hosted by Kathy Biasi.
Welcome, everybody, to the Health Hub. I'm Kathy Biasi, your host, and along with our producer, Alex Diaz, we would like to welcome you to our show. And thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. We have another great show lined up for you. We are talking with Rocky, Haire, and Valerie Maclin about their weight loss program called Skinny. But before I get to that, I just want to give you some information on the show. Obviously, today's show is being taped, so no opportunity for calling in, as we're still not in studio yet. But I know Alex is working hard on that. Radio Maria has or is in the process of moving. So I hope very shortly we will be back live and you will be able to call in with questions. But please do keep up to date with what's going on in our show by following us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We are at the Health Hub RMC on all three locations, and do feel free to email us at thh@radiomaria.ca. And do subscribe to our podcast. We are the Health Hub on iTunes, SoundCloud, and all your favorite podcast platforms. And as I mentioned each and every week, you can also find our podcasts on the Radio Maria Canada website, which is radiomaria.ca, and on my website, which is kathybiasi.com. So as I mentioned, we are talking about weight loss today, and a weight loss program called Skinny that has been developed by Rocky, Haire, and Valerie Maclin. It is a comprehensive weight loss program that is truly unique among other programs that claim to help their clients lose weight. Just as unique is Rocky and Valerie's path to founding Skinny. Rocky is a practicing personal injury attorney, and Valerie is a personal trainer and a nutritionist. Rocky was inspired by a noticeable change in Valerie's appearance due to a new diet regime that she had been trying out, and he decided to try it himself and experience the same noticeable results. They were both so impressed with how they looked and felt that they wanted to help others see the same success, and out of that, Skinny was born. Valerie and Rocky have created a program that goes far beyond the average diet plan. For example, Valerie helps clients get a true understanding of what their ideal weight should be and how to achieve the goal with a specific tailored eating plan for each individual. The accountability that clients receive is a game changer that even includes free maintenance for life. They are truly dedicated to helping people not only lose weight, but to keep it off. Skinny is a complete lifestyle overhaul, and Valerie and Rocky offer the support needed to help their clients succeed. I think you're really going to enjoy this show. I think you're going to really enjoy the two of them, their wonderful guests, and their point of view on weight loss. We are going to discuss the science behind losing weight and keeping it off, why the first 7 days to weight loss can be the most challenging, and why proper education is really key for sustained weight loss. It's a very interesting show. We've got lots more other than those three topics to talk about, but I hope you stay tuned, and we will be back in a few minutes to talk to Rocky and Valerie.
Just can't believe where my life was at. All that I know is my heart was broken. I don't ever want to go back. Ain't no explanation how I saw the light. He found me and he set me free, and he brought me back to life. Blame it on the transformation, change down to the core. This love is real and I can't sit still. My name's not shame no more. Great God Almighty, don't change me. Great God Almighty, He don't change me. You gotta shake, 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 like you change. when everything seemed fine. Or maybe your world was upside down and hit you right between the eye. No matter when it happened, that's 7 or 95. Move your feet, 'cause you are free and never been more alive. You gotta shake, 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 like your chain. Brand new looks so good on you, so shake like you've been chained. Come on, shake, 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 like your chain. Brand new looks so good on you, so shake like you've been chained. Come on, shake, shake like you chain. Shake like you chain. Shake. Great God Almighty, don't change me. Great God Almighty, He don't change me. Great God Almighty, don't change me. Great God Almighty, He don't change me. No matter when it happens, that's 7 or 95. Change me. Move your feet, 'cause you are free and never been more alive. You've got to shake, 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 like your chain. Brand new looks so good on you, so shake like you've been chained. Come on, shake, 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 like your chain. Brand new looks so good on you, so shake like you've been chained. Come on, shake, shake like your chain. Shake like your chain. Shake. Great God Almighty, don't change me. Great God Almighty, He don't change me.
You are listening to Radio Maria Canada. We now continue with the program, The Health Hub, hosted by Kathy Biasi.
Welcome back, everybody. As mentioned, our show is being taped, so no opportunity for calling in. We would love for you to follow us on our social sites. We are on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and we are at the Health Hub RMC on all locations. Rocky and Valerie, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
It's such a pleasure. We don't often have two guests at once, so this is fun too. Keeps the conversation really light and flowing, I've found. So you guys have been in business together for a while. How did your paths cross? How did you start down this business venture together?
Valerie is one of my wife's best friends. And so that's how we initially got to be friends. Valerie was her personal trainer for years. And at one point, Valerie got into a tough situation at home, a husband that wasn't behaving and had to get out. And so she and her kids came and lived with us for about 6 months. Isn't that about right?
Yeah.
And then Valerie was working for a company that is fairly similar to ours, but she saw a bunch of glaring problems with it, things that could really be changed and tweaked in the weight loss industry so that you could actually get people to really get a hold of their discipline and their diet and their life, really. And so we just kind of started talking about it some more. And then one day she came home and said, let's do this.
And so what did this involve? So Valerie's got the practical background, and where do you, Rocky, where did you guys meld together?
I had the desire to lose the weight. I wanted to see if it actually worked. And then I wanted to invest and be the financial leg of the company. So it was really a perfect storm because she needed the money and I needed the know-how. And so it was perfect. And that's how it happened. That's how we got together. And Valerie, tell them you're part of the story because she got on the diet working for this other company for 1 week. She wasn't fat. Valerie was not overweight. And after 1 week, I noticed and I said, your skin looks different. Your eyes are clearer. You've lost weight. What are you doing? And that's how I got so impressed with the results of this type of diet. And that's how then she started telling me about it. And we were off to the races, man. Isn't that pretty much it?
It is. So when I did this program for the company I was working for at the time, I was a health coach with them. And there was a lot of things that I felt like could be more of a reality for people and realistic, right? So as I was kind of visioning what skinny could be and look like and how we could be different, I started kind of playing around with those ideas in my head and putting them into action while I did the program. So we incorporate a lot more whole foods with the manufactured foods that we use. It is a low carb, low sugar diet, but we also focus on their lifestyle changes, right? So we add whole foods to our products so that they're full and satiated throughout their days. We educate them on the little things that matter, what type salt they use, what type butter they use. Do they drink? You are able to drink and lose weight, but there's a certain choice in that. You can't have wine. You can't have beer. Those things kick you out of fat burn for 4 days. And those are the little things that we really educate all of our clients while they're going throughout the program.
So you with a training background, are you also working on exercise routines with them? Is this all being incorporated into your program?
We do not currently yet focus on the exercise side of things. And honestly, I do that because I know both worlds. I have a nutrition background, but I also am a certified personal trainer. And I can tell you firsthand in the gyms, they focus more about building muscle and working out, 4, 5, 7 days a week. And some people even do 2 workouts a day. So the problem is when you have people who have food addictions, eating disorders, emotionally addicted to eating when life gets tough, the problem with that is it's not about exercise at that point in time in their life. It is all about nutrition. What is going in their body? Because they can go work out 4 days a week. And if their diet is poor, they're absolutely gaining no ground.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I do help and I educate people, for a lot of my end game people who go into maintenance, they reach their goal. A lot of them do ask advice on what type workouts they should do and things like that. And I will sit down with them and give them a short education course. We have considered adding possibly some fitness classes down the road and kind of having a one-stop shop here. But right now, we mainly are focusing on teaching them how to eat right and eat healthy.
You mentioned food addictions, food disorders. Is this your clientele?
It is some of them, not all of them. We have some clients who just since the pandemic hit, they gained 10, 15, 20 pounds. And they've never had that in their entire life, but now they have it and they don't like it and they don't like the way they feel. So we help people, anyone who wants to get healthy. It does not matter the amount of pounds or the amount of fat mass they need to get rid of. We help everybody.
And so what sets you apart in your approach from other places, more well-known places that we hear in Canada anyways, your Weight Watchers and things like that? What sets you apart from them?
What sets us apart is the fact that whoever they come in and sit down during their consultation with, they have that person their entire journey. They have them via text message, email, phone call, any time of the day when they're struggling, they have someone. A lot of these other places you call and you leave a message. Well, in that moment when they're about to crash and burn, they need somebody. They need someone on their side of the court rooting them through that tough moment. That's the first significant differentiator of us. Another is we do not exclude any macronutrient that the body needs. They are still getting all the nutrition the body needs for fuel and energy. We're just switching it a little bit. We're giving adequate carbs and sugars, adequate protein, adequate fat servings. We need every macronutrient to survive. A lot of companies don't do that. And they give chemicals, they give appetite suppressants, they give carb blockers, supplementation that curbs the appetite. We do not believe in that wholeheartedly. Actually, Rocky's tried to convince me otherwise.
No, I've tried so hard.
But I'm like,
we got to sell pills, Valerie. We can make so much money. And she's like, we're not going to do that because that is a Band-Aid. What we want is for people to be fixed, their life they want their life and their health back. And the stuff that happens to people, I'm talking about type 2 diabetes going away completely. People get off the metformin, they get off their meds, they sleep better, their libido goes up, they get regular. You can't believe how much happens when you do this. And when she said fat burn earlier, she said, if you drink beer, or wine, it'll kick you out of fat burn. What that is, fat burn is like stronger than surgery, than a lap band. The weight, when you hit fat burn phase, you start losing weight so fast and everything starts to work better. You get a metabolic age that we can measure. We don't, I'd say about 40% of our clients are out of state. They don't ever come in. We do it on FaceTime. But if you can actually measure your metabolic age, and it's pretty easy to do, but you go from feeling like a 70-year-old to feeling like a 30-year-old. And I mean, like if you drop something and you bend over to pick it up, man, I'm 52 years old and I could feel that. But when I lost all that weight and my metabolic age went down, I can't even tell you the difference in my just overall general well-being. It's pretty cool. She's kind of underplaying it because it's giant. And Valerie is such a good coach that it's hard to make her happy, man. I mean, you don't get an enthusiastic thumbs up unless you stay on it. And she can tell by the look in your eye when you walk in.
I can. When they walk in, I'm like, you didn't have a good week, did you? They're like, nope. A lot of them are like confessions with Valerie. Here we go.
Are you talking about a keto diet? Because that, a lot of people will associate the fat burning with the ketogenic diet.
That's a great question. It is not a ketogenic diet. Does the body internally go into ketosis? Yes. Is it a keto diet? No. So with keto, and listen, I'm not going to knock it. It works for a lot of people, and that's great. But I'm not a super big fan of it because not only is it a super high fat diet, it's also high protein. Adequate protein is what the body needs. What happens when we eat and consume too much protein in just one meal, the kidneys cannot process it. So it literally sends it in our reserve in the body, which in turn grows fat. It sends it to our carb and sugar reserve. So where a lot of people go wrong, and a lot of people have had health issues doing the keto diet, when someone is morbidly obese, keto diet is not good for their body. They end up having pancreas issues. They end up having gallbladder stones, kidney stones. A lot of issues have arisen with ketogenic diet. So there are proteins, there are veggies on this diet. There are a couple of servings of healthy, proper fats a day, but keto is 10 times plus all of those, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does. Really and it's very difficult for people to stay on. Far more people fall off of it.
It's not sustainable for the average American diet.
It happens fast. And the weight comes off pretty fast with a straight keto. Comes off at the same rate with skinny, but with keto, it's you're right. You can't hardly stay on it. It's not. I mean, how many people can just eat a piece of meat for a meal? I mean, they want variety, and that's one of the things that you get. It really doesn't deprive you of those carbs that you really want. They're just healthy carbs.
Well, people who listen to the show know that I'm all for food as not just a vehicle. Food has to be enjoyable. And in the long run, if your food is not enjoyable, even if it's relearning things, it's very difficult for people to stay on. But I want to go back to the protein thing, because not as many people hearken to this way of thinking as I personally would like in working with cancer patients. This over amount of protein that a lot of people seem to think is the way to go is something that I often have to talk people back from. So reiterate, Valerie, again for me, why protein is, when people work out or in the gym a lot, it's very common, eat as much protein as you can muster. And again, if you could just reiterate why this is not necessarily the best path to go down.
It's the kidneys. When we eat too much, the body reacts to it as if you're cheating on a program. So when that body and those kidneys have consumed as much as they can handle, it sends the body into a reserve. It sits there and it grows fat mass. So no matter how much working out you're doing, and look, some people do consume more protein than others. Mm-hmm. If you have a 6'2", 210-pound man who is doing CrossFit or in the gym doing heavy lifting, yes, his protein is going to be higher than mine, right? So there's different factors for everybody, what their physical goals are, what their mental goals are, how far do they have to go to get this fat mass off? There's just different scenarios for each and every client. This program is different for everyone. It's same format. It's formatted the same with the same end goal, but it is different weekly for every person because everybody is different. And, a lot of people who have what I would say, they're not allergic to certain foods, but they have intolerances. So their bodies respond differently. They respond slowly. A lot of those things I learn as I go with them, and we shift gears often every week. If that cell's not doing what I want, we make an adjustment. So it's hard for me to just say one specific thing, but for everybody, it is the same as far as too much protein goes. Your body is not going to do what it needs to do if it is consuming way over the allotment of protein. And everybody should consume 15 to 20 grams of protein per meal. Many people are getting 40 plus.
Mm-hmm. She's like an Energizer bunny. You just got to wind her up. She'll tell you everything you could possibly want to know.
And it's frustrating because you've got so many programs out there telling so many wrong things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And a lot of people are like, well, what makes you right? Well, look, I'm just giving you education right now as it is. That's how the body scientifically works. And you cannot consume 40 plus grams of protein every meal of the day.
One of the things you said that resonated with me, Kathy, is you got to be able to enjoy your diet and the food that you eat. And that's huge. I've never really thought about it like that, but that's a requirement. People don't want to be without. They want a cheeseburger or French fries, or they want something that makes them, makes them happy. And so that's one of the things that skinny addresses. It really does keep you satiated. It's that you're not hungry. And one of the things that really surprised the heck out of me is the avocado or the olive oil that they ask you or that they have you put on your vegetables. You can put it on anything, but it really kills your appetite. I mean, more potent than a Dexatrim. Remember that? Or one of those diet pills. When you take that stuff and you take it with about a tablespoon, man, you're not hungry for a couple of hours. I didn't know that.
Right. And it's healthy fat. And a lot of people they just need that education
on
how to transform their life to eating healthy and eating good. Food tastes good on our program, and it should.
Well, that's the ideal, right? You're going to educate so that people can understand, so that they can move forward. And so eventually they're not sitting in your nest. They're leaving the nest with the education that they need to eat healthy and maintain that proper weight. Guys, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to continue our discussion about skinny with Rocky and Valerie.
I'm coming back to the start, where you found me. I'm coming back to your heart. Now I surrender. Take me. This is all I can bring.
You are listening to The Health Hub here on Radio Maria Canada, a Catholic voice wherever you are. To contact us and be a part of the show, email thh@radiomaria.ca. We now continue with the program. Here once again is your host, Kathy Biasi.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking with Rocky Haire and Valerie Maclin about their program Skinny and overall about healthy weight loss and how their targets are so valuable and, unique in some areas to help people with weight loss. So we finished off the last segment talking about protein and so forth. So I want to talk about sugar because we have to talk about sugar when we talk about weight loss. But we'll start there. And then I want to get into, you guys, how you work with people on really the mindset of what they should be targeting for. So let's talk about sugar because we talked about keto, we talked about protein and fats, but that's the one area that I would venture to guess is very challenging for a lot of people you're working with.
It is very challenging for them. In fact, when they come in for their consultation, I can typically know within the first 5 minutes if they're ready or not. I have a series of interview questions I go through with each and every person.
She's told them they're not ready before. I cringe. I'm like, Valerie, that's money walking out the door. She's like, they're not gonna win if they do this. They're not ready. It's kind of like a drug addict. When somebody else tells you you're ready, that doesn't do you any good. You're not going to quit until you're ready to quit.
Exactly. And so I really, those are not clients for us. They really aren't. They're the ones that will give us a bad review.
I'd love to hear that. They're not people we can help. And I think that is as valid as the people that you are helping. So you go. Sorry.
That's exactly. And so I'm just not going to waste my time on those people. You know, if they literally tell me, well, I'm not giving up my beer, I'm not giving up my wine, plain and simple. Well, I know right then and there, this isn't going to work for them. So we're just not a good fit. I do go over if I do feel like they're ready. You know, consultations get very emotional. I just had one 2 weeks ago. It was a 2.5 hour consultation. She was 305 pounds. She hides her food from her family in bedrooms, in drawers. It's a real issue for her. And while she does probably need a little counseling throughout the process right now, how can I help her? She's like my greatest challenge at the moment. And so far, we're 2.5 weeks in. She's doing really well.
It's crazy how much weight the people who are that overweight come in, they will lose. I've seen, you remember the one that lost 12 pounds the first week?
Yes.
That's a lot of weight. I can't believe.
And it's healthy.
Yep.
You know, the larger the fat mass, the higher numbers you get when you first start pursuing this journey.
And they come in here and cry. They're so excited.
And it's funny where I was getting to with this. I have someone who's 305 pounds, and then I have someone who needs to lose about 50. Okay. And if we're going to compare these two body types, the one that's 305 pounds has way less issues of sugar withdrawals than someone who has 50.
What? I didn't know that.
It's really interesting. And so I just make sure in the interview, I tell them, look, your first week, your first 7 days are going to stink. It is not going to be fun. It is the toughest part of the skinny program. Not because you're going to be hungry, not because you're going to have cravings, because your fat mass is going to want the carbs and sugars it is so addicted to. Therefore, you may get headaches. You may get stomach aches. You may get shaky. You may have dizzy spells. You might not sleep. All of those are withdrawals from sugars.
Yep.
And the people who have, 20 to 50 pound fat mass, they get hit the hardest. They don't realize how much sugars they're consuming, number one. Second, I mean, they feel completely just broken.
Is that partly because the person who's so overweight has so much more in stores?
Yes.
Okay.
They have so much more stored up in the body to kind of them through that. Whereas someone who just has a smaller fat mass, they don't have near as much. Therefore, the body is crashing and getting hit from every aspect. So they're for real. People underestimate them. And once they get through 7 days, I guarantee them, get through it, find your mental toughness, keep your eyes on the prize, right? Get through these 7 days. And once they get through it, they completely are on top of that mountain. So it's about a week's worth of withdrawals though.
Now you're talking about weight loss. We've talked about the macros and worked them into the diet plan. I'm assuming we're also talking about calorie deficits.
We do not. I do not look or care about calories.
Which I love.
Calories do not grow fat. Okay. So when you're talking about, and we never get rid of fat cells. It's not scientifically possible. So what happens is the proper diet collapses the fat cells, right? So if we have a large fat mass, all we're going to do is shrink that a little bit because we never, we never get rid of fat cells. People who go and have liposuction and different things like that, guess what? They're coming back. It just does. If you're not changing your eating lifestyle, that 10 grand you just spent on that surgery and put yourself at risk for, it changes nothing. It's going to come back. It's going to shift to other areas. So we focus on how to eat the proper diet to collapse visceral fat. Visceral fat is the first layer of fat everybody put on in life, okay? It's the most stubborn fat in the body. It's deep and it's internal. So in the beginning of the program, we're working on the outer shells of the fat. Once we get about half the fat mass off, we start penetrating into that deep belly fat, which is visceral fat. It causes type 2 diabetes, insulin-dependent diabetes, heart attack, strokes. It even, can cause certain types of cancers. Visceral fat's a nasty thing. And I really watch that throughout the program because once you hit a normal visceral fat rating, you are maintainable for a lifetime. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It does. It does. Now, are you doing testing on people when you first see them?
No, we are a non-medical facility.
Okay.
But what we have, like how I get these numbers, we have an Olympic grade scale here in the office. For our out-of-state clients, they don't get all these numbers. With that said, about 40% of them end up buying a cheaper version of what we have. So they're able to get a lot of the fat numbers. They don't always get the metabolic age, but they can get a BMI, which is not the same. It's similar, but it's not the same.
People go out of their way to come here when they're in Texas.
They do. When they're in Texas, they stop by and get on our scale. So it has sensors, and they take their shoes and socks off. They stand on these sensors. It sends a low dual grade frequency up through the body, up to the brain. And that frequency is bouncing off water, muscle, fat, bones, everything in the body. And that's how we determine their metabolic age, their water, their muscle mass, fat percent, fat mass, all of those numbers, visceral fat, all of those are in that Olympic grade scale. So that's how I get the numbers I get.
She's a clean freak too. So she sprays it down with alcohol after everybody steps on it.
I guess you kind of have to be these days, right?
I know. Any germaphobes out there, don't worry. It's cleaner than you could eat off of it.
Well, I have a question, and it interests me, so hopefully it'll interest you guys when I ask this. When someone comes and sits down in front of you, and they give you a number, I want to lose 70 pounds, I want to lose 100 pounds.
Here we go.
How do you work with them in determining what a healthy weight is versus what the number or desired weight may be? Body image, I think, is what I'm getting at. Well, I know is what I'm getting at here.
So if someone wants to lose way more than they should, I let them know that they will be underweight, right? And how I base it is off their height, age, and gender. So if you have a 6'2" man, he's 54 years old, he weighs 264 pounds. Ideally, he needs to be around 210 to 220 because we do need some fat in the body. Mm-hmm. We just do. We need some. We don't want to look sick. We don't want to look skinny. And so how I prevent that is feeding them the proper diet with adequate protein, right? That's what's going to maintain their shape and their muscle mass. It's a program that focuses just on fat loss. So that's how I determine what their ideal weight is, though. I look at their age, their gender, all of those factors, and then I kind of find a range for them, and I let them know what that range is.
Kind of touchy sometimes because she'll come in here and somebody I can look at them and tell they need to lose 100 pounds. And they'll say, yeah, I need to lose 25, 30 pounds. And Valerie has to kind of gently break it to them that you actually need to lose closer to 100. Mm-hmm. And I can't believe how many times that happens. I would think people would err on the side of the other way. Like I need to lose 150. Yeah.
Well, I would too, because
it is. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, especially with women and body weight images and where they think that they should be at. And I like that you said that we do need some fat. I think certainly as we age, I think for women, when the estrogen levels are declining and the bone health is becoming a little bit more challenged because of the lack of estrogen, I think that having some fat around these bones is a natural progression. That's just my thought. I think the body works very well as we age. Maybe you have a differing opinion on that.
Nope, I completely agree 100%. And that's why I educate our clients exactly that. We need some, we just do. It's not healthy to be underweight. Then our bodies can't fight off things like COVID, the flu, pneumonia, all of those health issues. You need to be in a good spot. And if you're overweight, if you're underweight, neither one of those are good.
Mm-hmm. So there a range for every sort of segment of people you're working with. For instance, I'm 5'5", female in my 50s. Is there a range that you're working at with someone my age? And obviously if someone younger, it's going to change as well.
Yeah, with someone like you, ideally you should be at about 137. You can, give or take 2 pounds down, 2 pounds up. Fat mass, you want to hover at about 26.5 to 27% body fat. Visceral fat rating for you needs to be a 5. A 6 is good, but a 5 is perfection. Mm-hmm. And it's different for everybody. For me, I'm 44, I'm 5'4.5". My ideal weight's 130.2 to be exact. Mm-hmm. My visceral needs to be a 4. My body fat needs to be about 25. So we factor in all of that, and everybody knows exactly what their goal is and how many weeks it's going to take to get there.
Now, what about people who are on certain medications that really make weight loss stubborn? Is this a frustrating point for everybody concerned?
It's not frustrating for me because I know realistically what they're going to lose and what they're going to accomplish. I've got someone who has hypo and hyperthyroid. One day she's hypo, one day she's hyper, and I've helped her lose 20 pounds. She hasn't been able to lose 1 pound in the last decade. And she's around the same age as me. And while it was slow, I'm not gonna, sugarcoat it. It was a long process for her just to drop 20 pounds. But hey, she did it. She might have averaged 1.5 a week, but before she wasn't averaging 0.
Once they start seeing results, everything gets a lot easier. And once the withdrawals are gone, you become back. You're better than you were before. You're stronger. You can concentrate. You can think more clearly. You sleep better. Everything is better. So it's really just the process of once you start to see those results happen, that's when we really get progress in every area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, do you find that some people are not eating enough when they come and see you, and you have to educate them on eating more versus eating less?
Yes, I call them and refer to them as non-eaters.
Mm-hmm. I think that's more common than a lot of people might think.
It is. They skip meals. They don't realize that timing is so important in weight loss. So everybody on the program, in the beginning, I have them about 2 to 2.5 hour eating window. They're going to eat every 2 to 2.5 hours. As they get on into phase 2 and phase 3, I'm branching them out to 3 to 3.5 hours, because when we eat right, we can last 3 hours. When we're eating crummy, we're hungry in an hour.
Yeah.
Some people argue that they're not hungry at all. It's I know people that say that they're just not hungry at all, so they're going to lose weight by not eating, and there it sits. It doesn't move.
Exactly. Their body is doing absolutely nothing, and their metabolic state is 0.
Mm-hmm. So you're working on a whole bunch of things other than just the physicality of somebody. There's things going on underneath that you are getting. You're kickstarting, you're pulling back, you're pushing forward. Now, how, as we come towards the end of the show, I think the big question is, how successful are people in maintaining their weight loss when they are working on this type of a format?
They have been amazing. We offer free maintenance for life.
That's big.
And I believe that's why. And that's another way we're different. We don't just get them there and let them go. They get monthly newsletters from us with updated recipes, articles that I write, different things like that. They're staying connected in the know and the how and what's new, right? So a lot of our local clients in maintenance actually still come in. They get on the scale every couple of weeks just to keep themselves in check. They want to know and see that they're actually doing this. And then after about 4 months of maintenance, most of them are like, you know what? I've got this. Mm-hmm. I can do this. And I don't see them again, which is kind of sad. But we do keep in touch in the beginning of maintenance for sure.
I think that what you're doing is fantastic. I think that when you teach people how the body works, teach people how the fuel works in their body, it sets them up for success. I really do. I think that's a key piece in why you're successful. It's been a great show. I love talking about people who are working within the body function, who are really trying to move people forward with understanding. I think education is key. And I really want to thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking to you both.
You too, well. Kathy. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Now, just actually before I sign off, I nearly missed this part. How can people reach you?
You can call us, which is probably, you can call us or go to our website, but probably the quickest way is call 972-318-0411, 972-318-0411. Or you can go to our website at Skinny Life for You. That's Skinny Life, the number 4, the letter U.com. And you can sign up that way, or you can look at all of our testimonials, all of our amazing ratings, and all the stuff that people are saying about Skinny, and become a member yourself.
Amazing articles on our website that are just good information.
Excellent. And you're seeing people internationally as well? You're seeing people internationally as well?
Iran is
wonderful.
Iran is the only country that won't allow us. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, you still got a large segment you can work with, and everybody will have all the information. We'll have all the information when the podcast comes out. So again, thank you so much for joining us, and everybody, we'll talk to you next week on The Health Hub.
You have been listening to The Health Hub, hosted by Kathy.